Welcome back to our vintage playthrough, episode 23. We got a jam-packed episode here. We need to run these, both the roller and our cultivator. We actually have to cultivate some fields yet before we can plant. But it's time to upgrade these. I think it'd be very good to get some nice, bigger stuff. There's a couple things in the sales that we're going to look at. I did have an audience suggest, and we can take a look at these again later where we might place them, that we get like a garden plot for the corn, because obviously our pigs are running wild on the food. We're almost out already, and we probably won't even make it to the harvest for the corn. But there's some garden plots. Let's see. I looked at the mod hub. The only one with corn, we'd have to use these greenhouses with the spouts, because we'd have to put some either fertilizer or manure. Let's see, I think it was, yeah, this one here. We could get corn out of something like this. And I don't think I'd want to go crazy big. I mean, hopefully a small one would be enough to produce it. But we can look at putting this in here somewhere. So that would cover the corn. And then I was also looking at, because also we need potatoes, a root crop. And we could, like, once we get a pallet, we could switch it to something else. And maybe something like this would be good. We could take, I think this one actually you can customize. And then we could take the fence off and make it something more like that, which would be kind of cool. Put it more closer to the road like that, maybe. That's something to think about. I don't want to do it quite yet because we need to get these two implements bought. We probably will be able to afford it. Like I say, first things first. We'll run the stuff down there. Yeah, there was a Giants update, so things are a little clunky right now until things start loading in. Let's see, we'll send this down on a worker. Hopefully they can make it down there fine. Sometimes they have issues. There they go. Go ahead. I think it's funny, they were fine until I got out in the way of the tire tracks, and then they had trouble. Let's try that again. We'll have to switch the other way, because they always stop when you get out of the tractor. See, they're fine. We'll just switch this way, I guess. We'll run this one down. The roller. It's time to upgrade it. The one we're going to get, I'm so excited for it. It can roll. And it can mulch. We can configure it to a mulcher, so we'll get 2 in 1. So we could actually sell that mulcher too. And get some money for that. And like I said, we'll see what we got. And we'll probably put those garden plots up and get going on that. I think it'd be nice to actually have another field of income. Oh, where did he go? Way around? Oh no. Ran into the cars over there. Oh. I went too far here too. Can't imagine we'll get a whole lot for this roller. But it should be something. Ooh, $397. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Hardly anything. Like I said, we got to get plowing, so I want to get that purchased right away and we can put that off on a worker too. Although it'd be nice to try it the first time ourselves. Let's get both of these things bought. So we have... Was it a cultivator or a disc harrow? There's this one here I found in the mod hub. So 150 horse. We'd have to use the other tractor for that. But it's 5.4 working with. Looks like it folds up very nice. Or there was a disc harrow. This one was actually base game. Same thing, 150 horse, but it's 1 less meter at 4.5. Now, it might be a no-brainer to go with the bigger one, but sometimes I don't want to, like... There's something about using the base game equipment before you start using mods. 21,000 for that, and this one was 17. This does fold up a lot nicer though, because I think if we did go with the disc harrow, we would have to unfold it like this in order to set it down. I think. It's hard to say, but it's not folded up. Yeah, I think you would. Let's just go with the mod one. We could maybe use the other one in a different playthrough. 17,540. 150 horse. We'll have to use, like I said, the other tractor. And then we were going to look at the... I'll just go to the downloads here because I know it was a mod. This guy here can configure into a roller or a mulcher, whichever we prefer. We'll use both. Let's see. I think all our mulching was done. So we'll just go ahead and put the roller on. Now here's where the extra cash comes in. So there's different configurations. 4.5, 5.3, 6.3, 7.6. And that was the biggest one. But there's a big price difference as soon as you go from 6.3 to 7.6. So I'm almost thinking that this is probably the sweet spot with the 6.3 80 horse. Does the requirements change? They do. So this, we could actually pull this one on the open air tractor we have. Looks like we could get away with that one too. But I think I want to go for the nice 6.3. It seems like a good happy medium, and obviously save on price. And then we can configure it to a mulcher when we need to. It does cost a little bit for the roller. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. 22,055. And it looks like we got 50,000 left over. And we still have to sell our old mulcher. Let's see. We'll send this back on a worker and then we'll relieve the other one. Let's get past the fence. Sometimes they run into the fence when they take over. Yeah, we'll start to set them off here. We could probably start on this plot right there. Okay. Yep, we'll take over. Thank you for running into the car. And again, I don't think we're going to get a whole lot for this one. 25.46. Hopefully this handles it pretty well. Should be able to. Oh yeah. So make our work a lot easier. Did want to buy that other field over there too. It looks like, do they have a crop on there already? I think they do. It is, yeah, 55. What is that? That is canola. So that wouldn't be bad to take advantage of. I do want to put another, we could drill another field over here, a plow one. We got to get rid of that tree that's currently there. We should have did that during the winter months. Okay, let's see how good this working with is gonna do for us. Should be able to get done in no time. I like how one gets down before the other instead of both at the same time. And yeah, it shouldn't take that long. 3, or we could do 4. Nope, 3 it is. I can't even do... I only can do 2 if we do steering assist. We'll do this one ourselves, and then I'll put it off on a worker on the other field. Okay. Drop her down. We'll see how good this works. Looking good. Oh, look at that working with. There we go. How do we do? Yeah, the pH, nitrogen. Yeah, we were still... I'm going to let that pH be fine. We're going to have to do some liming again at some point, though. I think we'll put this off on a worker on that other field over there. Oh, yeah, I forgot that round bales over there, too. We could probably get that wrapped. I think our grass is actually ready to cut again as well. Whoa, yeah, we're a little light here in front. Actually, I think this can be configured with a little more weight. We should run to the shop quick and do that. I'll leave this out here. That might help us. But if we're gonna have to constantly configure all the time, I have to try to sneak through here. Configure all the time, we might want to park the truck somewhere else so we can sneak in here. Let's see, front weight, 350, 455. Yeah, we can put a little more on. Let's do it, because we definitely need it. Hopefully it makes a little bit of a difference. I think those greenhouses also need some straw too, which will give us a use for that instead of selling it. I just hope it could accept a bale. Because if it doesn't, then we have to get either get a mod to cut bales open or get a straw blower. Okay. Yeah, we'll just set them off here. 2. Yeah, we have to do 2. We'll have them do the headlands first. They should be alright. And then we need to, like I said, get going on that planting of that corn. But I'm going to get that mulcher sold first. Let's see, we're going to need this over here right away. So let's just pop it down here. As soon as we get planted. Oh, I like this tractor so much. We might have to reorganize things. We got different implements now that are bigger. Make stuff work a little bit better in here. It looks like not actually a bad price. 5,131. Let's go ahead and sell that. Excellent. We're moving up in the world. Go with the old, in with the new. I don't think there was anything we needed down here, right? Let's see if there's anything on sale. Like, if we get a sale of food, that would be awesome, but it has not come up. Looks like our same skid steer we have is for sale. Okay, let's head back. And then I guess we'll probably... Let's get a field planted. Like I said, then we can start looking at... We'll get a bunch of field work done. We gotta start looking at getting the greenhouse setup done. We'll stick with the plan and we'll do 2 fields of corn, even if we do the greenhouse setup. That way we can even get some money for it. Looks like we're pretty decent here. We'll see how far this gets us. And if we get that other... We'll Well, depending on how we want to configure the greenhouses, we'll have to take a really closer look at that, but you have to pick one or the other, which is kind of weird. I wish it would just accept both the regular fertilizer and the manure, but you have to do one or the other. And depending on how fast it goes through there, I mean, it'd be kind of nice maybe to get the manure one, and then we could just use it for both our fields and our greenhouse when we need it. We could dump like a big pile right here across the road when we start buying the manure. Unfortunately, we can't just put a manure pit down and get the manure from our cows because they're just outside pasture. It is what it is. Let's see, yes, corn and fertilizer. So this should take that. I do want to try to use up that fertilizer that we have in those crates. Let's see, activate it. No, it's just passive. So that should be good there. We'll do this one ourselves. Okay, we should be... That's definitely a nice working speed. Yeah, so that looks good. Nitrogen perfect. And again, needs rolling. We will be doing that. We just bought that roller. Won't take us that long to do. Thank heavens for that. Because rolling could be a little bit of a chore. Okay, let's get a few fields done here. And then we'll see you in a few minutes. What we need to do now is we'll try out the new roller on the other field up there. Can we find a better spot for this cultivator? Is it going to fit in our shed? It looks like it should be low enough. I mean, it doesn't have to sit outside. Trying to figure out the best way to organize things here, though. So we got... Let's take a look here. I mean, it could go here. That might not be a bad spot, but we do have the... Well, the roller thing yet to do. If we could... we got our seeder here. We could park our seeder along the other way. Or put the seeder over towards the baler and then put the mulcher right there in the corner, maybe, huh? I don't want to make it too difficult to get through. We could park it also right here. Let's see. Or we could put the... Let's try putting it in that corner where the tractor was, I guess, for now. We may have to figure out... Gotta get enough swing room here. Figure out something else later. We're definitely tight. Again, that cutter that we bought, that one really should be inside, but the ceiling is just too low. The doorway, I should say, to get that in, unfortunately. And now we're hitting the rafters. So we gotta make sure we can get out with a combine too. I don't know. We'll try that right there. That should work. Let's grab our new roller. We'll give that a shot. And then I may set that off on a worker while we figure out the new garden setup. Should be able to afford all that, I think. See how good the working with does here for us. Just always exciting. Night and day difference from what we had before, that's for sure. Let's see, I guess it stays up like that until you put it down. There we go. Let's try it ourselves first. I guess there's nothing to turn on. Oh, look at how fast that goes too. Let's check the final results. Expected yield potential at 125. This is going to be a good yield. And like I said, if we don't use it for the pigs, depending on how good our greenhouse does, we will sell it and that's profit anyway. That way if we do need it, then we have it, and if we don't, then it is what it is. Oh! Okay, I was gonna say there's no animation there. I think it's just picked up on that side. Try to get a closer look here at this. That is a very nice working speed though. We're going at 10 miles an hour. The other roller was a lot slower. And it does count as rolling. Let's just triple check. He's rolling, yes, perfect. Working very good. Yeah, I think we'll take care of this real quick ourselves, and then we'll put this off. We're kind of waiting for the planter to finish up on the other field over there. But like I said, we can... Wow, that's a fast rise right there. Almost feels a little unrealistic. But we made the commitment now, so... we'll just have to go with it. That is a... yeah, I think that's a perfect working width for this farm. We'll be done in no time here. There we go, last little bits. And we are done. And that folds up wonderfully. Nice small footprint. That really was a good purchase there. The only thing we haven't really like tackled yet in this series is the weeds, which I haven't been too bad. Kind of keep an eye on them. There was probably one time it might have got a little crazy, but I wasn't too worried about it. Kind of makes it a little more realistic, I guess. Okay, there's still working on that field. And the other one we were going to put what in? Soybeans. No, you can't do soybeans on the seeder. So we need the planter. Otherwise I'd put that off on a separate tractor. We can just let them do their thing while we decide how this garden is going to look. So let's take a look here. So we got... I think this tree one would definitely be good. There's two here though. There was this other one. I did really like this smaller one here, but this doesn't have potatoes. But I think this would be a good one for our next series coming up. We could use it over there. Our South American map. Again, we'll take what money we get off of this series and we'll head down south. So yeah, there's a... I'm a little confused here because there's a minimalistic one and a regular one. So what is the difference? Is it the customization? Let me look on the mod hub real quick and see if there's a difference between these two. It looks like, I looked on the mod hub here, it looks like it's just, it says less decorations. Like I said, they kind of look the same to me. We'll still go for the more expensive one, I guess, just in case, but there's also supposed to be a distributor and a garden water pump, it looks like. I don't know if... Let's take a look and maybe that's somewhere over here. Yeah, over here. So here's a distributor. So we could run water and all that stuff. That could also distribute to our... I think that could distribute to our animal pens as well. We'll wait on that. We'll decide if we're going to do that later on. And then we can go from there. There must be something else. Oh, here we go. So the garden pump is in the container section. Supply water for your Tanks with fresh water. So this is, yeah, it's just we could start using something like this over here maybe instead of having to drive down to the pond. Which then we could get rid of that road down there too. We could put this like over here or something. We'll figure that out at a later time. Let's get the garden figured out here. We'll do... So with the greenhouse, we'll, like we said, we wanted to do that one with the horn. That would be this guy here. And we need to, like I said, do water, manure, straw. That should be interesting. I don't necessarily know if you need these. I kind of want to keep it small. Is there a medium one? But yeah, there's a medium, but it's 25,000, which we probably could afford. Would that be overkill? Yeah, I think we can put the spawn thing on the other side. The left side for the spawn area. And we can set this right up against here. Yeah, maybe we will go with the medium. I was thinking small, but I have a feeling this small ain't gonna be enough. And make sure we got enough room when we come out of our driveway. Let's just delete this for now. Small wind generator. I said we could always move it. I want to make sure when we get bigger implements that we do have enough room to swing out of our driveway if we come that way. We could come back a little bit with this too. Make sure we put that spawn pallet on the other side. Left side. There we go. Okay. Let's do that. And I want to fill that in with something else. Not cement. We ain't that high class. Dirt it is. Let's have some gravel entrances at the doors. And maybe right here too, I suppose it makes sense. For the filling pipe. And then we can add in some grass. I don't suppose the spawn area is really going to be used on this one. We could always change this a little bit later. Maybe it's better to cover it up. And then our wind turbine. Just put that right there. Okay, it looks like our planter is finished. I want to get this roller set off on a worker while we go and get the last I should say the garden put in. It won't take them that long to do this. We could probably save the planting of the soybeans for the next episode. Okay, there we go. And we'll get this out of the way. I missed a little bit of spots, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll run this down to the... Let's just go this way. The other field so we know to do this. Let's get it set on soybeans. I mean, we could put it off, but we're gonna have some grass cutting to do anyway. How does it look at the entrance here? Yeah, look at that. We are moving up in the world. So how does this... Is it inside here? The trigger thing? I suppose we could run it from the other menu as well. There it is. So, yeah, we can do corn manure. So, you don't necessarily have to have manure, it looks like. I think if I read the instructions right, if you do the manure, the output's higher, so that makes sense why they have to have a separate area for that. Let me look here. So we got, yeah, place for manure, straw, and water. I just wonder if that straw, if it's going to take a bale or if we got to cut that up. Let's go grab a bale and see what happens. Info trigger and then interactive zone markers. It looks like it should just drop here in front. I think. And we got our water trigger. We could put up that bigger water barrel. We'll see how we want to do that. Let's grab the skid steer real quick and a bale. And hopefully that works. If it doesn't... Oops. We gotta make sure to turn off super strength because that causes its own problems. If it doesn't, we're gonna have to figure out something else. Either get the mod to cut bales open, which wouldn't be bad. Or we gotta get a shredder. But I think it'd be more realistic if we could just cut them open. We don't need a... Well, I'm not necessarily sure if it would work to blow it anyway. It's more for pens. Okay, let's see if this works. I hope it works. Straw 3000. No, it doesn't. So we might have to get the... I think we'll go with that, probably that cut slice open mod. That could just be the fill area too, but I don't see any other area to drop it. Let's get our garden plot put up. Because we might as well make some extra cash with the garden. Like I said, this looks pretty good. We can even do sunflowers. We could do some potatoes, sunflowers, some odds. Maybe we could just do potatoes and sell the extras. So we're going to do a couple different ones. I do want to make this a minimalist, so let's do no fence and no garden bed. Let's keep it open. I think that looks a little more run down. And then be something like that. I want a little bit of room against the road. Okay, how did that do? A little bit of a bump there. Can we fix that? Let's raise it up here. There. Perfect, we can do that and round this off a little bit. I was a little worried about it not letting us do that. And we'll just smooth that out. Add some grass back in. so it don't look too ridiculous. Here's my question. Can we paint in the garden bed? I don't necessarily know if I want... Well, we could leave the rocks, I guess. Let's just check if we can. We can. Okay. That's interesting. We could, like I said, maybe make it more of a muddy area. I feel like this is almost too classy with the rocks. We paint some dirt, I guess. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, we could do this. And it won't feel so... I might leave a little bit of rock there to make it look on the road. Yeah, there's supposed to be some... That's not too bad. Some grass down here quick. There's supposed to be an interactive marker here that you can, like, tarp up or something like that. We flipped an elevator, nothing happened. I don't know if, we might have needed the other configuration for that to work. Move oh, those are collisions. Let's see if we can find open door. Yes, there is no door. Let's take a look at the production point on that. So we could do some cool stuff like carrots. Some chili peppers with seeds, solid fertilizer. So again, I think if you do this one, you get more output than if you just do water. I think we'll start both of these on water first. We'll do the potatoes here, and then we'll do the, obviously, the corn here. Just so we can get started. And then we'll see what the output is. And then we could go from there. If we decide, oh, it's not enough, we could bump it up a little bit. Let me grab a tractor quick. Our car has a hitch. We'll use our car with the water tank. Looks like the rolling's done already. They did a damn good job. Yeah, there we go. We'll dump a little off here and then we get a refill. Dump. There we go. Look at that, it's already growing. I think I'm gonna like that open air or no fence configuration. Feels more, I don't know, like less closed off, more inviting. And we'll get the greenhouse started here too. Oh, there's a bit of a bump here. We're gonna have to... I was wondering what was going on. We ran over. We're gonna have to fix that. But I just wanted to get this started here. Yeah, so we'll... I guess this is kind of where we'll take it. Water, 330. Let's put a little more, one more thing of water in the other one. And then I think when we come back on the next episode, we'll go ahead and finish topping these up. And then, like I said, we'll see what the output is like. Because if the output's good, then we really don't have to go crazy. But if we get more money just for putting fertilizer down, we could obviously run both of those. And then make the transition seamless when we start switching over to the other way of doing things. Right there. Alright, we'll shut her off. We said you have a little bit to get started with. And then we'll fix this road real quick. Because that's ridiculous. That's no good. Smooth. There we go. How is that? A lot better. Okay. we got a great start here. Well, like I said, we'll have to figure out what this... I'll go on the mod hub and see if we can get a bale shredder. And then we can maybe... We'll see how that goes. Because we are trying the ones without any of that and just the water. I have a feeling the output's going to be really low if we do that, though. Alright, we're going to leave it there for today's episode. And then on the next one, like I said, we'll get back on those fields. We have to plant the soybeans. We actually have to get going on our grass cutting. Because we are on already second phase. We have to get that going so we can get money going on that. Yep, it's ready to harvest. So we'll tackle that as well while our workers, I think, are taking care of the field. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.